I'm just reckless with like the face wash, and it just goes everywhere, and I need to take more care.
Mental for man with dirtiest face in group.
Coming from you.
Literally, my face is
Open
clean.
your gob.
I'm all flustered now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the poddy.
You're not meant to say that.
You said you were flustered, so I didn't want to like put you on the spot.
I am all flustered. Look how bright I am.
I know.
Hang on, let me
We've already said,
lean forward.
folks, that after this is shot, we're gonna buy something to minimize the glare on these windows.
We need to reduce the sun, guys.
I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. What
That's
I'm
really
seeing on
bad,
that
isn't it?
screen now.
I love the way that for the past like maybe 2 years that we've been doing this podcast, it's all just been us apologising. Like, yeah, we know it looks shit. This is a problem now. This other thing is a problem. Now that like how far we've come. We're just sat in a different orientation.
The thing is, the camera switches I think was great, but Ben says the audience prefers the wide shot. If that's true, then fair enough.
I have seen that.
I
in
think
the
the
comments.
camera switching is the way to do it.
Everyone who's commented in support of the wide shot. Someone actually said finally. The top comment on the inaugural wide shot video was finally.
Maybe a wide shot with other shots interspersed, but like this is not. I don't think that this. I personally don't like it. I'm happy to be outvoted.
Imagine if we didn't have windows.
I think with a wide shot, like with two of you, yeah, it might work. But in this L shape, I don't know. The wide shot, like there's so much space here.
Yeah.
It's just redundant. And if you cut the screen in half, listeners, like I would say that maybe 65% of what's on your half of that screen is redundant, unused space with nothing going on. And if you get a fourth person on, it's still 45% of the screen is wasted space.
Anyway, welcome to the view from the afternoon.
Yep. The view, you can't see it. We're currently in the abyss. It looks like, what's it called on Fallout 4? The place where they go at the end of Fallout 4.
It's
the
just-
Institute.
The
It's
Institute.
just
Yeah.
purgatory, innit? Like, it's
That's
a big
it.
white space.
It's like King's Cross on Harry Potter number 9.
Do you think it's like it's somewhat optimistic? Like it's like the view's optimistic. Like look at the bright sun. We're here.
I mean, that
We
is like
made it.
deathly.
It's literally, I mean, I'm wearing my sunglasses not just because I'm cool, but through necessity. I had to leave the podcast halfway through last week because it was too bright and I had to go and get my shades. But you are washed out to fuck there. You can't even see you. And yeah, you could argue, a bit of common sense wouldn't have gone amiss, Ben. You could have worn a dark shirt, like you should have known this by now, kind of thing. But you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Do you know what I mean? And
Lead a horse to microphone, but you can't make it.
lead a horse
Study
to the
composition.
view from the afternoon.
I'm wearing shades because I've got yet another stye.
Yeah,
Yeah, just love eating ass.
yeah. No wrong with eating ass, mate. To be fair.
Listen, more people should. It's a dying art. Dying ass.
No, my problem is, when I'm getting a shower in the morning,
Yeah.
like I'm just reckless with like the face wash, and it just goes everywhere, and I need to take more care.
Mental for man with dirtiest face in group.
Coming from you.
Literally, my face is
Open
clean.
your gob.
My face is
Ugh.
clean as fuck. Irrelevant, different thing.
Gob is part of the face.
True.
Look how fresh the Jordans are, by the way.
The distraction.
We've had a lot of people saying, you guys say you go to a lot of festivals. Why aren't you wearing wellies? I'll tell you why. Number one, you've commented, so it's worked.
Yeah.
And, wellies just aren't cool, man. They're not really my bag. And the Jordans, yeah, I mean, they look tired, to be fair. They do look tired. But
Well used.
I like having them with a bit of a story, They've been to Coachella, they've been to Stagecoach, they've been to fucking Download and Grass
Hopefully
Pop.
they'll go to the bin.
They will, mate. Not too long now. But
To be totally honest, I swear you can buy some Jordans with that exact like kind of print pattern on it.
that is what these are.
For £800.
That's how they looked when they're new.
Really?
Yeah, they're called the Lost and Founds. So the idea
I
is...
swear they didn't. I swear you just
Yeah, they are.
bullshit.
They're a reissue of the original Chicago Jordan 1. They're called the Lost and Founds, and they come in like a box with like a mismatched lid and like a fake original receipt. And the idea is like they're relict ones that have been found in like a charity shop.
Oh yeah, that type of guy.
so
Buy a
that-
relic guitar, do you?
I would love a relic guitar.
rather than like relicing it
I'm not
yourself.
being funny, but I've played my guitar, one of them, for over 10 years, and it doesn't show a single sign of relicing. So yeah,
Yeah, it's
relic
not
your own
rock
shit.
and roll enough, mate. With that
Please.
guitar.
Please. What you
Throw it
doing
out
with
the window.
guitar? Playing fucking... your old DSP thing, mispronouncing it in ad read. Everyone liked to remind you of that, didn't they? Solando.
Did I say Solander?
You said it wrong, yeah. Which
said
it's
Soldano.
an easy mistake to make. Whatever you said, it's the wrong. It's the wrong one.
Hey, but you know what?
They signed it off.
And got a comment, did I not?
That's right. You know,
Play the game.
It's
You gotta
all
play
about
the
the
game.
Who says it
algorithm.
wasn't
Fishing
intentional?
for the
Me, I
engagement.
did.
Well, how's about when we do the Manscaped read after this? We'll just get it all wrong. and just
Manscaped.
Can I stand in front of the window when I do my bit, please?
Yeah, perfect.
Everything's in wide now.
This one is the lawn mirror.
Really a different energy we've brought to the.
So the Manscaped read that we've got to do, it's a really easy read, and I'm grateful to be working with Manscaped again. They were our
letters, innit?
first main sponsor.
God, they were, weren't they?
But this one's all about shaving your balls. And I was lined up to do this ad read, but I was like, I don't shave my balls, and I couldn't bear to stand there and just lie. So we've got a couple of ball shavers right here, and we're going to deliver it
I
together.
shave my balls all the time.
I've never
All the
done
time,
it.
you are never not shaving
I'm
your balls.
literally
I'm
in a
literally looking at it right now. Oh, unless you got
constant-
something going on, you're not
Hey,
shaving your
don't worry
balls
about
right
it.
now.
There's a lot of
So
space
you're a
in these
liar.
jeans, mate.
Schrodinger's testicles.
Yeah, I just have nothing to add at the moment, you know.
Oh, great.
It's just free. It's free chat.
Do you know what? I thought you had some things written down because you
Yeah,
mentioned
but we're
them
not getting.
beforehand.
It's too early, man.
All right.
one-
Well, let
another
me.
one.
Check. I made some notes.
You going straight in?
Well, I mean, on the
It's
last
free real estate.
on the last pod,
Go on.
I think it's quite clear. I mean, it's not come out yet, but I didn't want to be there. I'll be honest. I was
Do you-
tired.
Do you
I
want to do a
was
formal
burnt out.
apology?
Yeah, sorry if I was a bit mardy on the last one. The truth is, I didn't want to be there, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to let the podcast down. And I think by turning up, I let it down more than if I'd have just bailed. But I was just not really vibing because it was talk about grass pop, and I've just spent all week thinking about grass pop kind of thing, and I didn't really have out to add.
Suffering with
Hey, it was
success.
good though, wasn't it?
Oh, it was amazing, but let's
Looked
not talk
good.
about that because I couldn't be asked talking about
Yeah,
that
let's
last
talk about
week.
it again.
Talk about some.
I hadn't
other
spoke
shit
about it
today.
though.
Yeah, but you should have. So you should have been on the podcast then, shouldn't you? If you wanted to speak about
True.
it.
Do you want to talk about Outbreak then?
Yeah, why not?
Neither one of us were at.
Oh, I was at Outbreak.
It was
Yeah.
there.
It was.
Looked good.
Do you know what? It was fucking class, mate.
Yeah.
Really good. I don't know what it was. I don't know what the secret was. I knew one song across the entire weekend,
Yeah.
which was a song called Tilde by Touche Amore.
Tilda.
Tilde, like, so it's written out as the symbol.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
cool.
hard to find on like streaming apps, unless you know where the symbol is.
Oh,
It's on the second
absolutely,
page
yeah.
of the keyboard. But yeah, it was brilliant. We I'll tell you what was great about it as well is like, so when you go to a festival and there's like a couple of bands on that you like, I'm thinking like Alive at Leeds, and you've got like the Kooks maybe headlining.
Yep.
If we went to that, because there's a couple of bands that we maybe like on there, Kooks and maybe a Pale Waves or something, you kind of not necessarily look forward to those bands, but you're kind of just waiting for those moments. When you go to a festival where you literally don't know anything at all, it makes it better than if there's a couple of things that you're expecting. So Bingley Music, we went to Bingley Music, right?
Yeah.
And we were waiting for Noel, and we couldn't even be arsed, like waiting for Noel, because we were like, we've got to wait for Noel. And there's so little on. But when you're presented with nothing for you, but you know, like, I'm here for the day, it just makes the day better.
God, I can't believe Noel headline Bingley.
I know, man.
That's fucking mental.
It's paying. Well, it'll be playing massive stadiums next year.
Yeah.
So we've got that to look forward to. But it was class. Something I really liked, right? And shout out to Mitch, part of the Outbreak team, the PR team that looked after Outbreak. He called like every member of press, I'm led to believe, every member of accredited media, to just give him like a rundown, a nice rundown on this is what you need to know about the event.
Oh, I like that.
So it gave me great information to do what we do to the best of my ability. Like, I was like, what bands do I need to see,
Yeah.
Mitch? And he's like, see, this band, it's their only show on the whole continent because they love Outbreak so much. Like, they're coming over just for that. See this band because they've come just straight from Glastonbury and broke their neck to get there.
Wow.
And then, like, explaining how, like,
They just got trained.
just extra, yeah, but you know,
Instead of
it's,
breaking your
it's
neck,
good context to not literally breaking their neck. Though
No, I see.
people there seem to like to break their necks, but just good, just really good experience from the media perspective.
I like that. It's like very much a loading screen tip.
Literally,
isn't it,
yeah,
of
it
the
was,
festival.
and it really informed our mission. And so we stayed in an Airbnb which Dan booked.
That's
Dan-
good.
no,
That's good because it wasn't you that booked it.
He booked a decent one.
It looked nice.
Well, it was a bit shit,
Oh, okay.
but this is the thing. So the guy was like, who owns Airbnb, was like, "Oh, we've double booked. We're gonna have to cancel. Can you cancel it so I don't get a bad review?" So we were like,
That's literally not how it
we
works.
were like, "Don't do that, Dan."
Absolutely not.
So Dan
yeah.
gets onto the Airbnb
because then you get
chat,
charged, right?
or a negative review or something.
Yeah.
So Dan goes onto the chat with Airbnb, explains the sitch, and Airbnb's like, "Cool, we'll just sort you out another one. What rough area do you want to be in? And you don't have to
Can we go in
pay."
a nice area?
Not what rough area. Sorry, what area roughly do you need to be in? And we'll just cover the difference if there's a difference. So we got to pick a much
that's-
nicer one, which
Oh,
was
great
the one you'll have
solution.
seen.
Yeah. what a
Really
great
good.
Wow, you never hear many good news stories about Airbnb.
No, it was class. The thing is, we had to use. I'll tell you why Dan booked it.
Why?
I found the original one.
Yeah.
But I've got a negative review on my Airbnb now, so I didn't want to book it in case the guy's like, "I'm not having you." The negative reviews from Tomorrowland Winter, and we left like some ambient particulate in the vestibule. Oh, you didn't leave it clean.
Oh, you
It
didn't
wasn't
clean the
bad.
shower.
I
Shower cleans itself.
Preach. I'll tell that to mine after 6 months. It starts getting that red stuff on the wall. I have to go in the
Oh,
in the fumigation suit with the bleach, mate.
I got an Airbnb once and I got accused of stealing the Sky remote. I was like,
Just what you need.
I literally have not. I don't know where it is. I didn't watch Sky. I'm sorry.
So I was going to charge you extra for the Sky, mate, Airbnb.
Oh, absolutely, mate. I know. They charge nickel and dime for anything.
You know what?
Go on.
Apart from what he said, fuck Airbnb. Can't stand them.
There's different times. So like, for example,
There's different
no,
times.
let's think. I've got two good examples.
There's
I've got
different
I've got
times.
two good examples and two bad examples for you if you
Of
fancy
time.
a couple of short stories.
Is one of them
Yeah.
Tomorrowland Winter?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. okay. That
so-
one's
no,
covered.
so-
I hear talk about festivals.
So two good experiences, right? Milton Keynes, biggest shithole in the country, right?
Yeah.
In
Yep.
fact, let's talk about Youngblood's event. Let's write that down because I've got some things to say about
There
it.
we go. Bloody hell. Settle in,
But we'll,
boys.
we'll write that. I'll write that in the agenda. So
Ooh,
Milton
the
Keynes.
agenda's been updated live.
Milton Keynes.
I don't have the agenda.
It's just for me.
Follow the noggin, man.
I guess I'm just here as a spectator then with a microphone.
So I've
Hurry
got-
up, hurry up and tell your
I've got
story.
an agenda. He's
two,
got an agenda.
two good Airbnbs.
Yeah.
You guys have arrived with
Shut
your own
up!
agenda.
I'll tell the Airbnb story. Manchester for the Foo Fighters that time. That was good, nice and easy. Remember in 2015, that was an Airbnb.
Oh, was it?
It was the first Airbnb we ever got. Milton Keynes stayed in a lovely place on the water, nice and easy, like,
Yeah.
no issue. The problem is now with the latest two that we've booked, collect the key from random ass place.
Oh, yeah.
So
I like
and Airbnb withholds key information from you until it's too late. We were trying to
Important
find
information or actual key information?
like the address of the actual fucking place.
All right.
it is shit, and I generally try and avoid it. But every hotel was fucking booked up
Yeah.
because what was on in Manny? Oh, it was 2 consecutive days of Liam
Oh,
Gallagher.
okay.
Yeah. It takes every part of like being at a hotel and just makes it worse. So it's like when you book a hotel,
Yeah.
you know the exact address, you know where it's going to be. You can go, oh, I'm going to be going out literally around the corner, so I'll book that hotel. Airbnb. You're in this general area.
I don't mind that. I mean, you know me. I'm generally eager to get out of a hotel as quick as possible. But I do like the fact that you're in a flat often and you've got a living room and
Yeah.
stuff like that's good for the longer trips. But for like 1 or 2 nights, yeah, I'd always rather have a hotel. But beggars chooses.
The cleaning fee is mental also. Like,
You can
wait,
just
wait,
decline it though.
Can you?
can you?
What I did for
Fair.
Tomorrowland Winter.
Oh,
The guy's like, what the system was like, will you pay the 86 quid? I just went, nope.
Nope.
And it went, no worries.
Landlords hate
a
him.
negative review. That's why.
That'll be why. But I'd have got the negative review anyway. I'm not going to pay as well.
Oh, that's mental.
I assume I'd have got the negative review as well.
Well, I can't imagine you get a positive review.
Exactly. So what's the point in paying the extra?
Just
And I'd
create a
like
new
to say
account.
we didn't trash this fucking Airbnb.
Yeah, did we fuck? We literally were so respectful.
It was left almost as it was found. But then isn't there an expectation? Like, I'm not the person who's like, let's leave it and someone will clean it. But like, there is an expectation that like I don't have to get down on the fucking on my
Yeah,
hands
that's
and
what
I
knees and
think,
scrub the
yeah.
skirting board.
Like, I'd want to turn up to an Airbnb and have it had been cleaned by the actual person who owns it, or like a
Absolutely.
cleaner or whatever. I don't want the previous person to have cleaned it because they're going to do an okay enough job. It's like, you know when you fill up a rental car and you go, I'm not going to fill it all the way up.
Well, it's
I'm just going to fill it up as much as it
That's
shows that
exactly
there's a
what
full
we
tank.
did. And that's why
Yeah.
we got penalised, because we cleaned it and it wasn't to a professional level. So then the next tenant goes straight
Because we're
in.
customer,
and
like you're
next
the
tenant's-
customer, you're not a professional cleaner.
Innit?
That's the inherent problem with Airbnb. Fuck Airbnb. Got no
Preach.
time for it. Just get a hotel, even if it costs more, because you can respectfully you can do what you want in a hotel.
And do you know what? I stay in a hotel. I make the bed. I sort of, I don't leave a hotel in a state. I might leave with a towel or two in my bag, but
But God
Cost of doing
forbid,
business, am I right?
God forbid that you don't empty the fucking bin, eh?
I don't empty the
Yeah.
bin, but I'll make the bed.
I draw the line at hoovering.
There's not a
Yeah.
Hoover in the
I,
room.
I bring my own Hoover, but I won't use it there. I save it for best.
Yeah, like the Airbnb rule. I'll make sure you hoover before you go. Make sure you take the bins
Yeah,
out.
don't
Like,
steal
what
the
the fuck
Sky
are you
remote.
doing then?
I need to buy a new vac, and I mean that's such a dull purchase. I mean, it's not really actually a dull purchase because
God, we can squeeze a good at 30 minutes out of
I
that.
in an ideal world, I'd get like the low to mid range cordless Dyson. I've had
Yeah.
one before. We've had one at my mum's. They're nice to use. So
Yeah.
when you do the menial task, you're like, oh, at least I'm using a top of the line or mid range.
Mid-range.
Product.
You
But
can't even have
the
that.
mid of the
Yeah,
best.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Val's with his hairdryer. He might think, or if I was him, I would feel brilliant. I'm using like the best hairdryer in the industry to consumers, and it makes a boring job more enjoyable. But we just can't afford one.
I've used his hairdryer a lot, and not once have I thought, oh, this is like maybe once I've thought this is a
Blowing
nice
a load
product.
of hot air
That's
in
it.
it, mate.
Do you know what? I actually,
Joke there.
to be fair, I actually don't really rate the Dyson Supersonic too much. But it is, there's no denying it is the it product in that category. It is the one to have. It's the MacBook Pro of that world.
But
It's
like,
the trendiest
so
one.
how much is that hairdryer?
Like 350 quid.
That's a lot.
My hairdryer was maybe 20 quid.
Yeah, mine was 15.
Is it what 15 times the value?
If I blindfolded
15
you,
times
right,
better?
If
I'm
I
not saying-
blindfolded you and went like this with a hairdryer,
You would know with
And-
them because it does have a specific thing. But I'm not saying like go and buy
God damn
one
it.
or you should buy one.
if I diffuse the air first,
I'm saying forget the price. If you're using one or the other, it feels nicer to use the nicer one. I mean, I'd have one. I wouldn't buy one.
I love the way that the Dyson hairdryer just doesn't work abroad. That's my favorite feature.
None
also.
of them do.
why doesn't it work? What
None
do
of
you
them
mean?
do.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
They
When
bloody
you
do.
use a hairdryer in the States, it's because of something to do with electricity. That's why they don't
Yeah,
work.
it's a lower voltage. But
Is
at
it
least,
voltage
but at least the
or is
UK
it
hairdryer
amperage?
will work at half power, whereas that
That
Dyson
one.
one.
Oh, is that right?
yes, but the
Okay.
Dyson one, I imagine it's got some sort of digital component that goes,
Yeah, it
no, not enough
reads-
voltage.
Yeah, that's a good
So at
point.
least they half work over there, whereas that one just goes, I can't.
Sounds like Chucky when you ask him to come to the festival on a weekend.
Or a podcast.
Okay.
Or out in
podcast,
Leeds. Or for
yeah.
a night out in Leeds.
Yeah.
I swear, Dyson.
Or if you ask Chucky, Chuck, can we join your football sweepstakes that you've set up with literally everyone? Then you've said for some reason Jake don't like football.
No,
Like, Jake's literally the biggest football.
I
fan in
mean,
the
I
group.
mean, I'll tell you where you'd be going wrong.
Yeah.
He mentions it to us at all. Like,
Yeah.
That chance would be a fine thing, eh?
Paul, I was just getting dissed on the pod.
Everyone gets this. I'll tell you
Yeah.
what. Let's go in on Jake.
Takes too long to do all.
I don't really have. I mean, Jake really pissed me off last week, but just because the snoring. I don't really have any kind of.
He has got a serious problem with his snoring.
I
Like
do
that.
wonder what it
So
is.
it's so much so that, like, for Mad Cool, when I was booking that, I was like, do I book a separate fucking room for Jake? Just so
Absolutely.
that everyone.
No, but this is the thing, and like, this is the solution that I get presented with in the comments. Buy some earplugs. No, it's not for us to make the effort.
Yeah.
We don't need to be buying another hotel room. We don't need to be buying earplugs. The person causing the problem needs to resolve that problem. Now, what is that? I'm not saying need to go and have surgery, but there has
Yeah.
been zero effort made on Jake's part to resolve that snoring. As far as I'm aware, he has done nothing at all. Like Bridie
Nothing at all.
snored a little bit, right, when we went to LA that
Yeah,
first
yeah.
time. And the next day he went out and bought the nose strips. Now,
Yeah.
I can't remember how effective they were, but he made a thing. I can't sleep with earplugs in. I want to sleep on my side. I shouldn't fucking have to. If I'm playing music right till 3 in the morning, loud as fuck, neighbor ain't gonna be told just wear some ear protection. No, the person causing the fucking problem, Jake, get it sorted.
I try to like sleep with AirPods in,
Yeah, I did.
and it's all well and good until maybe like 2 hours in, and your ear will start itching a little bit, or or God forbid you turn on your side, and then you got like the AirPod pressed into your fucking head. It's awful. I mean, the noise cancellation works great, solves the problem, but now I'm uncomfortable or being annoyed.
Yep. The problem is, Jake, the problem is it's his problem to solve. Get it sorted, Jake. Also, I'd be lying if I said I was really worried, but it is slightly concerning how volatile that snore is.
I snore a little bit. I'm very aware, but I can guarantee on my life I've never snored like that. Fuck me.
Yeah, it's literally, and I'm not saying it as a joke, and I'm not saying it to take the piss, but like Chucky snores like that sometimes, and he's booked in at the sleep clinic to get something sorted. I don't want Jake to die in his sleep, believe it or not.
Yeah, but it'd be quieter, wouldn't it?
I'd rather him die while he's awake so he knows what's
You know
going
what's
on.
bad as well? It's like when everyone's like, oh, starting to wind down and go to sleep at night. It's a fucking race. It's like I need to get to sleep before Jake.
Olympic sleep.
Because as soon as I hear it just start to rise up a little bit,
He
I've
sleeps
lost-
fast, man.
He does,
Yeah.
he'll sleep, and it's
He'll
no
fall
issue
asleep
for him
really quick.
because he'll just sleep anyway. He don't give a fuck.
I'm the last to fall asleep, I think.
I often am as well. I got a comment that said, just clap and that'll startle them and they'll stop snoring. But then what about the other people in the vicinity? Like, it's like, well, I don't want to cause a problem for them.
and also it doesn't solve the problem. It just
You have to be awake to clap.
yeah. Think of like you're trying to just like drift off as well, and you're thinking,
I need to clap.
I just need to clap. I need to like raise my arms and do a big clap. Oh.
I in Hull, I obviously slept in the same. I just didn't even know what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, I'll sleep in the same room with you. And I had one earbud in, so left ear naked, head on pillow,
Okay.
and then right ear bud in, podcast on.
Yeah.
Did the job, you know. But I was also very drunk. So.
That's the thing. If I was hammered, I don't have too much of an issue because
Yeah.
I'm hammered.
But it's a toughie. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can't remember how all that started. I know I was talking about the VAC.
Airbnb.
Oh yeah,
You started
you're
dissing
talking about
Jake.
the VAC. And I really hope, we just worked with Eufy from the Anchor
Yeah.
brand who make
The
the
backs as well.
Well, they make a robot VAC, and I would love one of them.
Yeah.
I think that's perfect for this kind of environment, and I've got first dibs on a robot vac sponsor. You can see like it's not a shithole, but
It's
like
disgusting.
I do try and stay on. It's not disgusting, but
Needs a good mop.
I do try and stay on top of it. Like I
Yeah.
do. I hate my space being grim, but like it's just such a big open space, and like I'll dust like from time to time, and then with our vac being broken, kind of, and I've got this nice brush and stuff, but stuff just comes because there's so much in and out and so much going on, and like this is like
This
the
would be
hub for everything.
perfect for a robot.
It
vac.
would, and you just leave that, just empty it once a day, and it just dosses about in here and gets all that shit done.
Tell it to do it at night. You never see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they return to base, so I'd love to have one of them if someone wants to give me one.
God, I wonder if they really enjoyed the way the ad was delivered as well, and if they'd like to send maybe 2 robot vacs
Maybe
or some other cordless.
because we
vac.
could have one in here and one in my room. That'd be
Yeah,
pretty
for
good.
me to pick up later.
It was so pointless in your room.
No,
There's like
I need to hoover
maybe
my room
2
right
square
now.
meters of floor space. I'm telling you.
mate, my room's decent size.
Yeah, but,
There's probably 4 square meters of floor space minimum, and it don't matter how big it is. It's covered in bits and shit, and it needs backing up.
Yeah, Henry Hoover.
They're cool, the
They
Henrys.
are
To be
cool.
fair,
They're coming back.
yeah.
it's Bongo's Bingo, isn't it? Bringing them back.
Is it?
Well, it's a prize. Have you ever been to a Bongo's Bingo?
No.
It's,
You'd attend it.
God,
Would
I
I? Really?
can't even see Ben on that screen, man. That's
It's bad,
fucking
innit?
ridiculous, bro.
Well, listen, we've got a solution now.
We do.
Well, maybe. Might not work.
Lower the brightness. That'd be a great one.
Shall I pick something from my agenda, or do you want to pick something from yours?
Do you know what? I'm just freeballing. Do you,
Cool.
want, you can start if you want.
Okay,
mate. Start us
so
off.
something that's really funny is something
this
that's
gonna go?
been going viral on Twitter is the ukulele guy.
Yeah,
Now I forget his name, Ryan C or something, or Andy C.
I don't know. I don't even want to talk about him because
Well,
I
sorry,
hate,
he's
I hate
on
to
the
give
agenda.
the guy the publicity. But
So
go ahead.
I don't hold any ill will towards this person. I just want to say that I've interacted with this person
I'll
a
do
few
that.
times. However, it's not my bag at all, and it seems to be not many people's bag. So for those that don't know, there's a guy who goes around all the festivals in the UK, and he's always in the guest area, and he goes around sponsored, right? Which I don't necessarily have a problem
Sponsored?
with that. Yeah, he's got sponsors and stuff, and I can't guarantee this, but I know he does have sponsors, and this might be how he gets in. Anyway, that's kind of by the by, but somewhat relevant. He goes around with a uke, and he goes basically, "Can I play you a song?" He's got a content team filming it, and it's like a song. We've had this interaction once with him at Park Life, and it's a kind of, a song better than I could write, but a song I don't really want to hear. And it's loosely about like, I don't want to get it wrong. I'm not trying to straight up this dude, but it's kind of like got like the Ed Sheeran slumming it, sleeping on the couch, kind of really bumming it kind of feel and vibe with none of that authenticity. And he's kind of gone a bit viral because he somehow was allowed in the immediate vicinity of Dua Lipa, the Glastonbury headliner from this weekend. And what a great opportunity for them to get some content. And he always plugs his socials, and maybe Dua will follow him. And he goes over with the uke. And I haven't actually watched this video because, with the greatest of respect, I couldn't bear to. It's like a Curb Your Enthusiasm moment. And he starts playing. And based on the comments I've seen, Dua just like shuts it down straight away and walks off.
Oh, really?
But it was funny to see him go viral because we had that interaction at Park Life, and I've seen him a few other times. I've spoken to him, and he's a nice dude, but it's just so, I think the people's issue with it is it just comes across so inauthentic. It comes across as the bravado of the seed of like struggling musician, support me, I'm independent, this, that, and the other, with none of that, or from what I can tell, with none of that actual authenticity behind it. And I think that's why people are clowning on this guy. And he's probably had the best weekend of his career because he's all over Twitter at the minute.
I think there was a really funny comment that I saw, and I'm just going to trust that they were right. But apparently he said, like, "Can I play you a song for 30 seconds?" Apparently exactly 30 seconds after, Duo just walks away.
I mean, the thing is,
Great internal clock.
Yeah. She's great timing.
but how? I mean, she's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
We're seeing her in a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. But
Sing
but
a song.
how was that allowed to even happen, man?
What was,
and I'm
what was the
kinda-
context of? Like, where were they?
It's at Glasgow.
But like, what area were they
I
in?
don't know.
I guess you've
and
not
do you know
seen
what?
it,
Maybe
yeah.
Dua was just slumming it, and she seems like a fucking real one.
Yeah.
And she might
I
have
think
been.
so. There was a comment that either she made or somebody in it, must have been her that made it, because she said, "I'd love to headline Glastonbury on the Friday,
So
that
I can go out and like party.
Yeah, so I can party the rest of the weekend." And that's what she wanted to do, and apparently that's what she did.
I have seen
Love
photos
that.
of her like vibing and shit, but if she was in a general admission area at that moment, you would assume there'd be 10,000 people around her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was clearly Dua Lipa. It wasn't like us in the doghouse with our hoods and our balaclavas on. It was Dua Lipa, the number one pop star of the UK. So that was funny. It was cool to see that. And honestly, good luck to you. I'm not trying to hate. I just think
I'll hate for you, mate. I can't stand it. Like it.
I think it's cringe.
Yeah,
but I don't think he's a bad guy.
I don't know.
I just think it's inauthentic, and I think
How can you be so not self-aware of like how can you not see that, like watch that back and go, that's a bit cringy. That might
maybe
not post
that is the marketing, because here we are talking about it.
I have no like scope of reference because I don't like. I have a Twitter, but I'm never on it, so I don't even know the guy. I can't. I'm trying to like imagine what the vibe is. Do you know what I mean? Because if he's just so he just goes up to people and sings a song.
Generally, yeah, but it's
Plugs the
often.
socials.
I mean, I'm sure he does it across the site, but like, when he did it to us, I hate to say it, but like we were in the VIP bit,
Yeah.
and it's like that's the place where I'd say you probably want to do it the least. in terms of bothering people, but
Yeah.
that's where he's going to get the most engagement. Like, I've not watched these clips, but I've seen him do it with like other famous people before, and it's like, you know, I'm not trying to accuse him of doing anything necessarily wrong, but it just all seems a bit kind of tone deaf.
Mm.
I mean, I couldn't write a song to save my life. I want to put that out there.
God, like
I can write a riff.
being
can
in
write
like,
music
the
to a
VIP
degree.
or guest star press area, whatever as well. Like artists will use that area to like chill out as well.
Yeah, that's
Like where
the,
you want to be like, I just want to have like a sociable drink here. Speak to maybe some people I know.
I mean, let's look at this as an example. We were stood next to Tom DeLonge,
Yeah.
like someone that I'd be lying if I said he's one of my biggest idols, but I've listened to his music for as long as I've listened to music.
He is one of the founding
I love him.
fathers of the pop punk movement.
He is the guy. Him and Mark are the two pop punkers, the OGs. And I would have loved to have had a chat with him. But you got to be mindful when you're in that space. You know, you're lucky to be in that space yourself. And I stood and I looked at Tom and I, you know, we acknowledged he was there on the video, and I would have loved to have had a chat with him, and he probably would have been super accommodating. But there's just a time and a place for that kind of thing. And
It's hard to judge the vibe, isn't it? Because I mean, I think you're probably right in that in that space, you don't want to over engage potentially and put yourself, do a disservice to yourself and obviously annoy them. But then at the same time,
he'd have been polite, no
you
doubt.
miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
You know what? In that particular circumstance, we should have just approached him because what's the first fucking thing he did? He went out into general to watch someone.
But the thing is,
did
he was speaking to some other people at the same time, and like people he was clearly there with.
You don't know what level they're
yeah.
at. Yeah, exactly.
And do you know what? If it was you know, who am I to say like I'm perfect? If that was Post Malone, I wouldn't have been able to contain myself, and I would have gone over, leading with a "so sorry to bother you, Posty," and led with something meaningful that he's going to resonate with to ensure that that's a short but memorable and interesting interaction for both of us. Whereas with someone like Tom, I didn't really have one of them because he's not one of my, like, I've got these scenarios in my head, you know, I speak out loud in the shower, like, now I'm going to run scenario 17, meeting Matty Healy in the Nando's. And it's like, you know, and you kind of, I've got these kind of.
Go on, what's your meeting?
I mean, I've just made that up, but.
Fucked it. He's right here now.
Shit.
I think
he's scranning down on his medium thighs. I imagine he seems like a medium-sized person.
I could imagine him and his missus doing the fucking wing roulette, you know.
Yeah.
God, that's shit, that wing roulette.
Go on, what you saying?
So he's sat down, is he?
Yeah.
Well, I would not do it then. I would wait until.
No, yeah.
All right, he's just finished his meal and is about to like leave and walk away.
Without paying the bill. He's already paid, and it's
it's fast casual, mate.
I honestly don't know in that scenario, but I mean,
oh, Mr. Healy.
You know, my point is,
I love you.
I wouldn't have approached Tom because I didn't have that ultimate make it a good experience for him, and not just a hello. I like this song. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. The point is,
I think you're right.
The point is, and you know, it's just funny watching that guy go up to Dua Lipa and get parred.
The thing is with Tom, it's like even it's like the pop punk enthusiast probably of us all. Even I didn't have much to say to him. Like I was thinking, like it's okay, so I'll go up and say something to him. I just had nothing, and I thought, like, if I've got nothing, I'm not just gonna go up for a handshake and then walk away.
Not worth it.
It's like
so take for example Simon Neil, like my number one idol. I had things to say. Look at this guitar that I've got, Simon. It's your guitar, and I love it, and it plays really well, and this, that, and the other. And then what else did I say? Like, you know, stuff that, like, I'm not saying he remembers that, but like, make it memorable for him. Make it worth. I want to make it worth his time that he's giving to me.
You need to have some prep, I think, and not like because you've reminded me of at Slam Dunk. Dan, Jake, and I got approached. I can't remember the names. They're really nice guys. I think they've got a podcast as well and doing some the pop stuff.
Yeah.
And they said to us, look, we're going to ask you like a few questions. Just snappy thing. Do you want to do it? Yeah, cool. Anyway, Jake and Dan did it. And I was just like, do you know what? I can't do it, man.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't have anything. I was like, well, they're going to ask me music stuff, which I'm I don't really know.
It's the Wasting Time podcast that we're called.
That's it, yeah. I don't know enough, and I was like, after I heard like Jake's answers, I was like, yeah, I'm dipping out of
Yeah,
this.
I think there's such a difference between like, so like when I was growing up, and like used to go to a load of gigs, and people would say like, oh, I've met this person from this band, and I've met this person, you know, like after the show, and like have a picture and that. And I always used to think when people used to say, I've met this person from this band, I'm like, have you really met them?
Yeah, in what
like
sense?
what you've done is you've said hi and you've taken a photo, but have you met them? And I guess in a way, yeah, of course you have. But I always think like compared to just
You met Fall Out Boy, your favorite band.
Yeah.
And you even said, you even didn't count that because it was an arranged thing at a
Yeah,
signing
it's-
tent. Like it's not authentic.
But then, like, if I can just think of
Which
something
I
off the
agree
top of
with.
my head, like when we met Craig from Escape the Fate at Slam Dunk,
Yeah.
like that was a genuine like.
We had stuff to say to him.
He had stuff to say to us. Like that was a genuine like
A
I've met this guy.
real thing.
And-
Real
and in-
interaction.
in a year's
Broker
time.
at Royal Albert Hall. For
Yeah.
me, chatting to like, damn it, that was like a proper thing. That wasn't just, oh, I'm a big fan. That was a proper chat.
Yeah,
you
and
know.
that's we're lucky enough to be able to do that with people we admire like that.
But I'm not trying to like disqualify anyone's like I've met this person. It's just to me like when people used to say like I've met this person, I'm like, have you really? Because I would just value like a genuine chat like we had with Craig about just general shit so much more. Like when I met Patrick Stump, it was, hey, can you sign this? Oh, they got a little booklet for you. Blah blah blah. It just wasn't like meaningful, and I didn't. I'm very fortunate to be able to have done so, but I didn't really get anything from that. Like I would so much more value like, hey Patrick, let's talk about compressors. Like what outboard you got? What like you're a Logic person or are you a Pro Tools person?
Windows
like,
native if you really want.
I'd love that so much more to talk about like a shared interest rather than just.
It makes it real. And do you know what? Maybe they'll remember that.
Yeah,
and that to me is what I try and do. If I meet someone that I admire like that, my mission is to make them remember it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna remember it for the rest of my life. Is there any chance I can make that as memorable for them as well? And it's worth. I just want to say, like, we're not trying to gatekeep like meeting people. Like, if you want to say you met someone,
just say,
like, absolutely,
listen
like,
to us gatekeep.
this is just how I feel, and we're talking about like. You know, because I met Bring Me the Horizon at a signing tent in 2010, but like I've forgotten that happened. I mean, I haven't. I've just brought it up, but like that's only because I've got I've seen a photo of it recently. You know, and how did we even get onto this?
Vacuum cleaners.
Here's a funny example, by the way. Back in like maybe 2009, something like that. Joe Troman used to be on Tumblr of all places, right? Tumblr was
Guitarist from Fall Out Boy.
Yeah. And he was like having some trouble with like recording into his Mac. Now I, being me, thought, right, this is my time to shine, right? So I sent him a question like on because you could ask questions on Tumblr, and he responded to it. And I can't remember what was said, but I thought like, oh, there's a genuine like bit of interaction that's not just, hey, I love your music, man. And I thought even like I haven't met him, but I thought even
support.
that is like better than like meeting him and just like going, yeah, I love your music.
I'd love to hear in the comments if or to the email podcast@tpd.tv.
Great plug.
If anyone's got any kind of either interesting or funny or maybe bad stories about like meeting like artists or celebrities.
Yeah, that's a great.
I'm trying to think of any of mine.
plug.
Like, I've never met anyone who wasn't nice in that capacity.
I met a comedian once.
Did you?
Yeah, Darren O'Brien.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
working at Las Iguanas
Oh yeah.
at the time, many, many years ago, and he was playing in Leeds. And he came in, and I recognised him straight away. Just gave him the usual spiel, handed him the menu. Didn't do the upselling blurb. I was like, Dara's a higher clientele. And I just would have loved, and I was just stood, it was an empty day shift, and I was just stood at the bar chilling, no one else in. And I was like, oh, just say, like, oh, big fan, or just say something, and just never bothered.
Do you know what? I respect that a lot though. I think
You're also there to do a job as like
This is what
the
I
thing.
think. I'm there as a serve. Well, I was actually a manager at the time, but I was serving Just he clearly chose because he,
And, like,
he
while
can
he's
go
at,
to
like-
nicer
like-
restaurants. Than
Yeah, but
fucking
he's also
massive
trying to
islands.
eat. He's just trying to consume
what I
food.
think,
Like
yeah.
everyone gets a bit rocky when they aren't fucking eating for a while. So
Absolutely.
like he's
You've just invented that like he's not eating
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
while.
He's not eating for a while.
Right,
It was
he
like-
might-
he's going for a fucking
Yeah.
nice
It
meal.
might,
He's got
it might be just
jaundice.
his meal time.
He's going for a nice meal. Yeah,
You're
so he's
acting
not
like
eating for
he's
at
just
least
come
like
out
6
of-
hours.
in-
He
come
was
off at ration
shaking.
packs.
He had track marks on his arms.
Like-
You're so right though. When
Yeah,
I,
absolutely.
the Apple Store attracts
Jack Black.
famous people.
Was that Jack Black? He was in
Jack Black,
Trinity, wasn't he?
my friend, my dear friend George, who lives in Germany now and still works for Apple, met Jack Black in their store. And we had a few celebrities in our store. You know, whenever there's a band on, like I know Slow Tie came in.
I've been there a
Bit
couple of times.
controversial now. And like literally hooked my mate who served him up with like guest tickets for the show that night. And you know, Vern Troyer, Mini Me, used to come in quite a lot because he had a few connections in Leeds. May he rest in peace. But what I would do in the few instances where I
was
served
dead.
celebrities when I was working on the shop floor was I wouldn't even acknowledge it, and I would give them the same level of service that I would give anyone else, which was excellent service. And then once the transaction is done and they're ready to walk out, if I
Send the
wanted
direct
to say something, I would do it then. So
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like just at the end, just be like, by the way, mate, loved your latest single, Tom Zanetti. Keep it up. Who else? There was some lass from Game of Thrones.
I wouldn't try like do that with Tom Zanetti.
No, I do it with anyone. I think you're there to do a job and to represent a company. And my priority number one is represent that company as well as I always have. And then transactions consummated, bit of light chit chat on the way out as we head to the door. Enjoy your phone case. It was a phone case. Great guy, really good guy. I mean, I met him a few
Apple
times.
one
but-
or like
yeah.
Exposure's fine now, guys.
Yeah.
It only took 41 minutes to sort itself out.
right.
Who else have I met? I met the Mighty Boosh.
Not bothered, is he?
No.
Not bothered.
Met the Mighty Boosh.
Which ones? All
Both
of them.
Both
What about
Julian
the
and-
gorilla?
No, wasn't knocking about.
Exactly.
They were nice. That was at a book signing. It's the only book signing I've been to, I think. And I remember they said I had a lesbian mum, which was funny. Because it was,
quirky.
can you sign the book to my mum, Leslie? And then Noel was, he's called Noel, isn't he?
Yeah.
Noel Fielding.
Yeah.
Was like, you got a lesbian mum.
God, he did all right, didn't he? Transition
did.
away from that
Because he's
Bake Off.
truly unfunny on every level to the core. And I'm not saying that joke was out of order. I used to like him. That show's still very entertaining, but like that brand of humor
It
of like
captured a moment, it captured an era very much. For me, I'm
Yeah.
like holds up Spork vibe.
yeah,
to
it really
you
is.
know
It's
what I
like
mean?
Asdef movie level
Yeah, yeah,
humor.
yeah. Which
putting on your Bieber like, oh, I'm so random.
Yeah.
Like, that
It
kind
is
of
that, and great work from
like
them,
the girl who pretended she had Tourette's.
but We had a friend in
That's what
school
she
who
did on
pretended
TikTok.
they had Tourette's.
Yeah, we
Really?
don't
But
talk
we've
to him
spoke
now.
about that person a lot lately, and we need to
Oh,
stop.
really? Oh, well.
Who else have we met? I walked past Jimmy Carr, nodded at him. He seemed
Yeah.
nice.
Did you do the laugh?
I don't know anything about Jimmy Carr.
You
to
know,
be
he's
honest.
got a very famous.
Do you think
laugh.
that laugh is a marketing tool?
Do you know what? He's a smart man, and I think it's just his. I think when you presenting and doing all, we all have fake laughs. I think we all have a laugh we can go to, and it's just like, and I think that's what he's doing. It's not a genuine laugh. It's just that I need to laugh, and it just ends up being a clapping seal.
I met Jedward at Leeds Fest last year,
both of them.
and you know what? They were sound as fuck.
I've heard this about me
Because
Yeah.
the thing is, right? So they had a bit of a crowd around them.
Mm.
They were clearly like,
What did you say to him?
well, so they had a bit of a crowd around them, and it was
What did you
in
say
the
to
guest area, right?
Yeah,
But they were clearly doing like their meetings and stuff.
Yeah.
They were there to be seen and to see people. And I was like, do you know what? There's only about 5 people stood with them. Like, I'm
About
going
to
to
be
just
6.
hover around there and just check their hands. Like, seem like nice lads. And like, they were great with the people around them. They were pulling out people that were clearly waiting to say hello and doing the first engagement, and like did that with me.
That's cool.
And was like, let's get a photo. I wasn't even in it to get the photo. Like I had no intention of getting a photo with them.
Mm.
Like,
oh,
but they like encouraged me to, and I'm glad that we did.
I'm too in my head to do that. Like,
Oh, I wouldn't say that to someone. I wouldn't say,
Yeah, I
like,
know.
do you want to
That's,
get a photo?
but it's good that they just did that. But like, just imagine the one time you get it wrong and somebody's just stood there and like they don't even want a photo.
No,
like,
I know, like that. I would. I'm too in my own head for stuff like that,
Yeah.
for sure. Like, I would be like, don't ask this person if they want a photo, because if they're saying, like,
absolutely.
who the fuck do you think you are, Rob? Why the fuck would someone want a photo with you? Wait for them to ask.
Do you know what? I've got a confession.
Go on.
So I kind of forgot about this, but it's something that at the time, but after, I was like, why did you do? You're an idiot. And it was the first Piccadilly I did, or maybe the second. Someone threw. I can't remember how this happened. Someone threw from the crowd their SWHBB T-shirt up. I caught it, right? I was like, "Oh, this is cool," and I was obviously off my face, very drunk. Like, I'm going to sign it because he's throwing it up like surely that is.
I think
just
by
assume-
throwing it relinquishes ownership to a degree.
So, but he was like stood there.
I was like, what else is he wanting? Like,
What else is he wanting? Right?
Yeah.
But what
Why
I
did you have a
was-
pen?
I remember I asked for a pen, Sharpie. Someone had one. And
Went up to the stage on Siri. Does anyone have a pen?
Does
Yeah,
anyone
yeah.
have a pen?
But I signed it. But instead of doing like, I don't know, Ben from Leeds or Ben, I just did my signature, which I'm like, that it's just and I look, it was just a scroll of shite. But
When
I'm
I
drunk
sign
doing the
shirts,
thing.
I'm like, of course. Are you sure you want me to ruin your shirt? Because we're not releasing this again.
Would you like me to violate this shirt so that it can't be washed ever again?
Well, this is what I think now. I'm like, I've just ruined some man's shirt.
Yeah,
with
especially because it's like white as well.
with just a scroll on it. Oh.
It's an interesting topic about all this because I was looking like at a load of as you'll know, a load of like hate on us.
Yeah, this really upset me, actually. I take it very personally.
Uh-oh.
Especially on that mostly from Reddit.
That's the only place that it was.
Yeah, even on our videos, like on the comments, there's generally a bit of negativity, but it always comes across as like that person's a genuine prick and is just doing it to like bait you, assuming it's a he there. But on Reddit, I guess because there's a certain level of like anonymity.
Reddit is a scary place.
It's
Man.
just like
Great for a wank, but terrible when you're the faces of a sizable community.
The general. I say hate. It's more just like comments of like we don't approve of what these guys are doing, really, and that's the general gist I get from it.
Well, specifically, it's like, let's share the whole context then. If we're going to go into this conversation, it was on my agenda anyway.
Oh, sick.
So there's a select group of people, and the first thing that I want to just say is I'm not here to say that their opinion's completely invalid. I've fallen into that trap before of dismissing stuff. But who have reported that specifically at Download Festival this year, that we were really rude and arrogant and egotistical, and we don't know who specifically. Some mention me by name, some mention some others by name. And it's just really disheartening because I can't think more the opposite.
Yeah, like so much time and effort gets put into like making time for people. Like at the end of the day, we got a job to do, right? We got to pay the bills. We got to go make a video that you watch, and like thank you very much for that. But like a lot of energy is also taken up by meeting people, and we're very privileged to be able to do so.
For sure.
But it's just a bit, like you said, disheartening that somebody
'cause
would comment and go, they were actually really rude.
But
They were actually absolute pricks to me.
Yeah, and like we go to these events and we not only expect to meet people, we generally enjoy meeting people.
Yeah, it's great.
Some of the incredible energy that kept me going through the day at Outbreak was meeting people. I love it. And when we don't want to meet people, we put ourselves in a scenario where that's less likely to happen. We go into the guest area. In the download video, I almost used the wrong phrase again there, but we covered ourselves in disguise to give ourselves
I see where you were going
an
with
organic
that could have been
night
really
out.
bad.
Do you know what I mean though? So we were like, right, night one for the viewers. We love to chat to the viewers. Night 2, let's go a bit more incognito, just have
Yeah.
a bit of time for ourselves.
And it was funny as well. That was the thing. Like, do not like dressed all out was so funny.
But some of these comments are, so that the initial person that spurred the comments, I've had a back and forth with. And we've ended the conversation with, next time we see each other, let's have a drink. You know, no harm done. Let's put it down to a misunderstanding. But there's other people. So like one person was like, they walked past me in the doghouse and something like Rob tutted at me and walked off. Now, I don't want to say that the way you're feeling is invalid. I really don't. I'm trying to be as self-reflective as possible in this scenario. But I literally don't have tutting in my repertoire. If we're talking about going like that, which I know as a tut,
Yeah.
now that is not something I do. Not I think that's rude and I don't do it. It's something that isn't even built into my behaviors.
It's like not in your vocab.
It's
like,
not. It's something.
It's not a response.
It's like saying Rob was coding Python in the doghouse. I literally don't know how to do that.
Could happen.
And it's such a shame. And I'm sorry if anyone does feel that way, because we have all the time in the world for you. Even when we're running on empty, we really do.
Not to be dismissive. I'd love to know how a tut was heard in the doghouse as well. It's quite
That's
loud.
what I thought too. And it's a
Not
shame
to be
that,
dismissive.
I don't want to.
Tut quite loud. Doghouse quite... tut quite quiet. Doghouse quite loud.
And it, you know, I really took it to heart, and it's ruined my last couple of days, to be honest. And I'm not here to say, woe is me, I'm a victim, because this is real world feedback. But
Yeah.
my I guess that was kind of a tut there that I just did. But like
it's
that
all
wasn't.
coming out
but
now.
It's bollocks,
but that
mate.
wasn't in
Oh
a.
my God, he knows what
Well, I guess what I mean is I don't do that in a dismissive way. Like that was in between
Yeah.
words. Like, and you know, I'm sorry if anyone was left feeling disheartened. But
I saw a lot of comments.
here's the sorry, Ross, go on.
I saw a lot of comments about like, oh, they were really rude, or like they sort of one of them said like, oh, they looked me up and down and did this, that, and the other, and like I got bad
That was the original comment.
Yeah, but like I always just think like I always assume the best of people, and life is easier that way. And I think it'd be so much better if everyone just fucking did that, because like I might be giving up. My body language might be quite shit. It often is because I'm knackered. But like it's not because of you. It might be because of several other things going on in people's life, in my life
Yeah.
or whatever. And maybe as soon as you strike up a conversation, I'll be like, good to meet you, mate. Yeah, thank you so much.
That's
yeah.
the energy that then pumps us into those interactions and gets us running with it.
Yeah.
And the person that said we looked them up and down and thought of them as scum and a peasant is the original poster, and we've leveled that out now, and there's no bad blood there. And I take on board what you said, and hopefully you took on board what I said. But what I can guarantee, and that wasn't aimed at me specifically, it wasn't aimed at anyone, it just said they. So it implies multiple people. But it was after Busted. We're all trying to get from A to B.
It was rammed as well. Like no.
Did someone really look you up and down and think that that person is scum? If you think that, I'm really sorry that you think that, but it's simply not true. It might be a case of, and it is a case of a misunderstanding, or at best, if we're even involved at all, a miscommunication. Because I'm not trying to say that we've never fucked up, because there will be examples. There really will be. But in my entire life of doing this, there's 2 examples I can think of where I have refused photos with people. One, I was running to the medical tent, and I even felt the need to apologize on Twitter after that. Like, that's how seriously I take our fan interactions. So to be kind of outed for ego or arrogance, and sometimes I think, is it when we're walking across site in a line,
Yeah.
and we've said to each other beforehand, we really need to get to Escape the Fate because they're on at this time.
Yeah.
So don't stop. And sometimes someone will shout Rob, and I get in my own head and I'm like, that's my name. if I turn around, is that arrogant and egotistical of me to assume that I'm the only Rob that someone could be
Yeah,
shouting?
it's very
Who am
true.
I to turn around? And then sometimes I do, and sometimes it is me. And I'll give a wave, but not stop because we're on the way. And I'll always try and give like a, hey, how's it going? Yeah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And it's, but if we're on a mission, we're on a mission. And I really hate to think that people would see us that way because this is a small group of people and your comments are valid to your experience as you had it, but I do disagree with some of the more personal kind of accusations about ego, about arrogance, about we only had time for someone when we saw they had a press band.
The worst part for me was
Half of us don't have a press band.
On that thread, right down at the bottom, 3 comments saying, actually, like supporting us basically and saying like, get your.
That was nice to see. I saw that.
But they all
as well.
got downvoted.
Of course they did.
And it's mental. So it's like, oh, so there's an agenda in this thread.
Yeah.
So, I just saw that and I was like, that sort of disregards everything that I've just read because the whole thread is just negative and it's just people like patting each other's back going, yeah, I think the same. It's just
I'll tell you an interaction I had at Download on the Sunday. I was really burnt out and run out of steam. Like I'd gone out for 4 nights in a row.
Yeah.
Hard nights, trudging through the mud. This happening, that happening. It was great, but I'd really run out of steam. And on the Sunday, people just seemed, and it might have been because I was a bit more, I use the term hyper aware or whatever. People just seemed quite touchy. And people would come up to me and like put their hand on my back and like stuff like that. And it was literally making me jump at times.
Oh yeah, and people were like covered in mud as well.
It was making me jump. And they weren't being rude, but it was just a slight, it was me not firing on all cylinders, but you know, I wonder, did that maybe play into it? And my interactions were maybe not quite as good then. I remember being stood with my back to the bar queue, and someone was in the bar queue. And this person, don't know how I'm feeling necessarily, but just put both their hands on the back of both my shoulders with weight to say like, Kellis, love the videos or something. Thanks so much. But my body language and my response to that was quite,
I've been shocked.
It kind of shocked me.
Right
and I'm
now.
not saying this guy's a bad guy.
No.
I'm saying if this was day one, I'd have been fine with it, no problem. But because I was like so on fumes, drunk to a degree, hungover to an incredible degree, and I was just, to be honest, I was ready to go home. We'd lost Mez. She'd gone home. There was no real point in me sticking around for Avenged, but we decided to, you know, for the good of the group, like we all wanted to see them together. But I was ready to go home, and I wondered, does some of those interactions come from those times where I'm burnt out to fuck? But even still, I wasn't rude.
I made peace with it immediately when I was like reading through those comments and like one of the downvoted comments was like, you say they're a celebrity, but then you say that they're not. We're not. But then one of them's like, oh, you say that they're looking at you like scum. They literally camped in like general camping, like with everyone else. Like even though we get the access, would literally rather be where the fucking party's at and like with everyone else as like a community. So like I just saw it as like they're just, like this guy gets it. Like
Most
they
people
get,
do, and it fucked my day. Woe is me. And I never do this, but like I just needed a bit of positivity coming my way. So I put on my Insta like I'm feeling a bit shit. And I got a load of positive stuff. And even people saying, I know why you feel this way. I've seen those comments about you. Like, and I know this, like the loudest voices are the negative ones. And they're such a minority, but I take my love and respect for our audience so seriously that it wasn't something I could just brush off. And I'm glad we've talked about it, to be honest, because I couldn't be more dialed in with the fact that even before the channel kept a roof over my head, every cool moment I've had in my life is because of people tuning into this channel. And now that's still true, but I also rely on it financially. Like I couldn't be in a more appreciative place, and it really was disheartening. And we might have met 500 individuals across the download weekend. That's not an exaggeration. It might be an underestimate in terms of including like groups and stuff. And I hope that most of those interactions were great. And every interaction I had at Outbreak, in my opinion, was great. And every person that we met at, remember speaking to that dude Osiris at Grass Pop, who was from Mexico.
Yeah.
Like we remember this stuff and we love this stuff and we hold these memories dear. And it was a real shame to see us get shit on. Not trying to fully absolve myself, because as I say, there might be times where I'm not firing on all cylinders, but I promise you it's not ego and it's certainly not arrogance or I'm better than you.
It's annoying because download, right? Great event. Loved it. Video got demonetized. Well, sorry, very restricted. Now it's totally demonetized for literally no fucking reason.
It's back.
Oh, is it back?
So just to shed some light on that quickly. The download video, I said it was demonetized, which it was. It was ad limited, which I just say is demonetized. Like that's just the language I've always used. You don't get nothing, but you get like 3% of what you would normally get. It basically means no advertiser is going to run ads on your videos. And then it got fully demonetized because it included backcountry. So that's just putting people up to speed
Backcountry,
there.
as in like...
We recorded some live footage of backcountry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a testament to how good Avenged Sevenfold are, right?
Well, no, it was
they sound like...
It's a manual claim. That if that was an auto claim, it would have been caught on
a
the first
manual
upload.
claim for that?
So there will be a team. It's not Avenged. It'll be their label or their promoter or whatever. I don't know who deals with it. Going through this footage. And do you know what? We can afford it. We're blessed. We can afford to put that video out demonetized. But I've never seen more download footage than this year. We've got loads of people, new and old, creating content for download. My algorithm is covered in it.
Yeah, I've seen quite a bit.
Some long stuff, some short stuff, some really good stuff, almost TPD level, Raz.
Shit.
And some not so good stuff, but that's just my opinion. I love seeing people in the space creating. It don't matter what you're creating. But it sucks that might be happening to them as well, where it might be one of their first opportunities to actually earn a bit of ad revenue. That might be their first 10,000 view video by this time next year. And they've not had an opportunity to feel how good that feels financially because you've got Avenged Sevenfold's fucking whoever going.
I welcome it. Competition breeds innovation, as they say. Just don't fucking speak to me, you know what I mean? Like if I'm in
Don't
the
say that.
If I have to tut one more time.
If you come up to me with a fucking camera, I'm gonna say in the first half of your video. How do you feel about that? Demonetized.
Ben, we've rambled quite a lot there. I'm conscious that you haven't had much to add.
103.
You what?
1 hour 3. I'm gonna have to sort that out, aren't I?
What?
So what? Oh, because he said the C word.
Because we know what's
Yeah,
ineligible.
that'll demonetize it.
Oh no way.
Apparently so, mate.
Even this far in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Just anywhere.
That's why the download video was demonetized.
Oh,
So
okay.
YouTube has a new feature now that's rolled out to select creators, and we are blessed to be some of those creators because this really, really helps.
Yeah, it does actually.
When you upload a video to YouTube, I get the video ready really early. People say, "Oh, how do you get them out so quick?" No, they're out quicker. They're ready way quicker.
The
than me.
schedule is the blocker.
So they're ready like a day or two after the event, and then you upload them. And that's the test. Is there any copyrighted material? Is there any non-advertiser friendly stuff? And with the advertiser friendly stuff, it as always flag as advertisers are not going to advertise on this. You are ad suitability, they call it. It's a yellow sign. It goes, nope, not. You're kind of monetized, but barely. It would nuke us if every video we uploaded was yellow. So then you can request a human review because that's all automated. And 9 times out of 10 with us, we get the human review and they go, yep, sorry guys, it's a bit crass, but it's all good. But they don't actually say that. It's just human review has said, yeah. It doesn't give you any context at all. Now, the YouTube auto review tells you where it's picked up those flags.
That's
and it
good.
tells you, instead of going, in this hour and a half long video, something is not advertiser friendly, it now says, these are the timestamps.
God, it's mental because like I remember watching like Philip DeFranco and like loads of different vloggers and like saying like it literally like shatters our revenue, but because we don't know, and it's amazing
Well, do you
that
remember H3 did that case about, or was that something else? He did
That was something else.
was
That was
I thought he did a case about.
there was a lot of like
Claiming
creators.
that
who,
was
like
that
that.
was copyright claims.
How was it? Right.
There was a lot of creators that said this. That said like, you don't have a leg to stand on with YouTube because they'll just cut your revenue, and then you put it for like manual review again, but it's too late because you've already got your million views.
You've missed you.
That's the thing. So if our download video got
slot.
monetized now, you don't get like, here's what you would have won.
But it's wild that like they've only just implemented that feature now, like 10 years later than it should have been.
But yeah, so the download video now we can see why it was demonetized, and I tweet about this. And it's a 1 second, a 1 second section of the video where Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age says the C word, which is a word I'm 100% comfortable using, but obviously I don't want to get this demonetized. And it's like, God damn. And it literally, you know, we won't go into detail, but it cost us thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
And hey, like, guess what? Now I've learned. And now that
Now we
word
know.
will never be in our content. And I don't think that makes it less authentic. And I don't think people will not buy into it if we're bleeping out the C word. But, you know.
We'll see if people spot the censorship in, or have spotted it in last week's pod ep.
Yeah.
Because it's very subtle. But there is some.
How do you do it? How do you censor it? Do you go for the beep or do you go for just
No,
like a skip?
do you want to know?
Go on.
This is cool.
So I was editing it.
Yeah.
And I knew, 40 minutes in, I've got to get rid of this naughty word.
Yep.
Got the old phone out.
Yeah.
Voice memo.
Yep.
Flustered. Put it on. Muted the track for that
okay.
word and just
okay.
put flustered on.
Oh, okay.
Still makes sense.
Yep. I
And
guess
no
so.
one's going to know. It literally sounds like flustered. So,
Brilliant.
yeah. But what was cool was because so I thought I failed because that ep got demonetized, and then I put it for manual review,
Yeah.
and then like 2 days later, it's come back as fine. But that it was ineligible, but it didn't give me the view feedback option. I just clicked on request review, and next morning I checked, and it was back. So I don't, maybe I confused even their algorithm.
No, so sometimes
'cause it was so close.
Sometimes it does just click back on. You only get the actual specific timestamp of where you've gone wrong at the manual review stage. So
I see.
So
Yeah.
people
they've
understand.
flagged it for you.
Yeah, so you upload it,
Mm.
it goes for ad suitability, which means no money. But it doesn't tell you at that point what you've done wrong. And then you do a human review and it tells you, but it's then you can't get that remonetized after the human has gone, here's where you've gone wrong. You've then got to re-upload, which is why I was trying to re-upload Download Festival even when we were on the way to Grasspot.
Wild. And like, to further point about like creators back in the day not having this tool, like people literally, like, we're very blessed that we don't have to.
It's 3 times you've said blessed now.
We are blessed.
Yeah, absolutely.
4
It's a
times.
blessed
Have you
day.
seen Chucky's?
I've said it once.
Have you
That's
seen Chucky's
fine.
tummy or not?
I have, yeah, multiple times.
But like, luckily, none of us that are getting payments from the channel like have a mortgage to pay. So like, imagine you're in a situation where you're literally waiting on like a manual review to pay your mortgage that month, and like that
Well,
would be.
Oh,
do
I
you know
see,
what?
yeah.
Something that I won't go into specifics because it's not really my business. But when we first met Jack, mate, and we were kind of just chatting in the airport just as we were about to depart from snowbombing, and it was like, see ya, and we were talking shop, and like when Jack started, like he had a number in mind that he needed to hit views wise, which he knew then would make him like square for the month. And,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff,
pays his
which-
rent, right?
Yeah, well, I guess so, yeah. And this was, you know, probably over 10 years ago. I hope he doesn't mind me sharing that. But I just thought that's so cool. And like, we are really blessed that while our content's incredibly expensive, it does really, really
7
well.
times.
What?
And we're
It's
not
not blessed.
you know,
8
we're not
times.
really stretched and we're not in a tough position because if you're a single individual creator like that, the pressure's got to be
I don't know
significantly
how anyone can be a single creator on YouTube and like do all the different things that need to be done to like to run a platform like this.
I think it's only because your frame of reference is what we do, and what we do is there's so many moving parts. Like think of my favorite creators are like video essayists, like Pinely or like H Bomber Guy. I just rewatched Plagiarism on YouTube.
Yeah, you know
now,
what you're
that is incredibly difficult work.
Mooncat is
Mooncat's
I don't know if you
great.
say that correctly.
She's brilliant.
But she's brilliant.
Incredibly difficult work and content that I wish I was clever enough to produce and research.
But there's no logistics at least.
But yeah, that's where kind of that's where the trade-off is. So
Do you know what? It actually it does kind of blow my mind how, like I had to. So obviously we recently did a ad read for Eufy, and it's funny how this is related. But I was like, right, I need to figure out what I need to say. I've got the brief. I need to write a script, and I found that really hard. And I think about H Bomber Guy and Mooncat and all these people who not only so they're researching a topic they don't know anything about, and then they create like a 2, 3, 4 hour script, and then they envisage the shots, and it just blows my mind, man. It is an art form, isn't it? Like,
it is ultimate content, and with these kind of these video essayists, like I'm a sucker for some niche shit. There's a guy called Folding Ideas, and he did a big video about NFTs, but he just did a video, like a 2-hour video essay about James Rolfe, a creator that I've watched for almost 18 years. And it was perfect. It was incredibly well researched. Oh, it was great. And big up to those creators because like an H Bomber Guy, I just rewatched Plagiarism on YouTube. It's been out for maybe a year.
Have you seen the follow-up? I mean,
I have, yeah. I've not seen that again. I'll watch that tonight.
Again,
but
man.
God, that's a 3-hour epic.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what was great as well. That Guitar Hero video that you linked me to.
Yeah.
The guy who plays and rates every Guitar Hero game. It's like, my God, the amount of effort that must
Now,
take.
that's a bit more, to me, that's a lot of effort for sure. And I loved that video. And I connected with that guy afterwards, small channel. And I shared my love for it. I can at least understand how to make that video.
Yeah.
If I was in the lockdown, if we had another lockdown now, I could make that vid. I've got all the games. I love the games and I know enough about them. It wouldn't be as good as his, but I can at least wrap my head around the creative process.
Yeah.
Whereas researching and writing a script like the internet and you.
Yeah, I find it wild that like...
Plagiarism and you, sorry.
I find it wild the amount of use of like scripts. Like we obviously have no script. Like it's not even a thought about writing a script.
In what context, like in terms of our content?
Yeah. But,
So it wouldn't work for us, would it?
but-
It's reality TV.
But I've actually thought about this because I was thinking about the different aspects and genres of like YouTube content, right? And I think because obviously there are bits where there's obviously thought put in and there's a direction.
Yeah.
But also, if you think in festival coverage, a lot of it's kind of done for you. Like we are, like very much at the start, we just.
Well, it's more about
experienced the festival
discovery, isn't it? It's more about
and
like
what do you want to cover.
like what we come across. So you can't really script it. But like I didn't realize like how much of like the big tech reviewers and other.
absolutely.
It's just all scripted. Like they'll have an editor and
like so, yeah, and
who'll edit the script and then send it over. Like they'll have a researcher who does the research.
Yeah.
Then it goes through approval or whatever, and
get
it's like
to a
it's
point,
wild.
yeah, where like, and I'm not saying Marquez is like this, but like Marquez is at a point where if he wanted to, he could show up to the studio, film something that someone else has written for him, someone else shoots it, someone else edit. He doesn't. He's hands on because he's passionate. But like that is where these channels get to. You know, you look at Linus Media Group. I mean, that is a really admirable business. Like,
I love it, man.
And they've got writers, editors, all this stuff.
Look at the credits at the end of
As 5 minutes,
7 minute, 5 minute. Honestly,
it's so sick.
The
to
best
see.
videos obviously they're top of the game at content, but for me, the content I like from them is all the behind the scenes stuff. I remember when he moved out the house, I first moved into the office space.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even office space, it was just the industrial unit or whatever. That's the content I like to see from him. Like, I'm not too bothered about his tech stuff because he's a bit too casual for me. But but the behind the scenes, the shop stuff, the how he you know,
What do you mean?
he's like,
It's a bit too casual.
You don't go as in depth. It Ben's a gamer's nexus.
I am the
Yeah,
gamer's
I
next
guess
guy.
so.
But he goes into like he does his office tours and he goes into like, oh, this is our server room, this is the workflow, this is how the editors' PCs get the data from the server and the workflow of it all, and it's just that's the content
And
I like
knowing,
to see.
like, I think we can probably appreciate it on another level, knowing like, you know, we try and run this.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, this has been hard enough to set up in the capacity that it is now, and it's still not right. And it's, you know, we don't, no disrespect there, but like, we've still got work to do, haven't we?
absolutely,
It looks better than it ever has, but like, oh, we need this PC, we need that. And, you know, and then it's like, I'm like, no, we don't want to spend that, blah, blah, blah. And they've got like, it really helps you appreciate like the scale of an operation like that, doesn't it?
What's actually quite
And they don't have a
cool.
Patreon, do they?
LTT
Like some of these big channels, it's wild that they don't have a Patreon.
Don't need it.
Yeah.
Like Marquez,
What's that adding?
Mr. Who's the Boss, the best tech YouTuber in the game, or one of. They don't have it, and fair enough if you've got nothing to deliver. But like when you're running a business that big, you could have someone in charge of like Patreon.
When you're running a business that big, though, doesn't it look bad? If
I
you've got
think
a
you've
Patreon,
outscaled it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Really,
think,
though?
Yeah, I think you've outscaled
Absolutely.
it.
Imagine,
Or maybe
imagine
the optics are bad. Actually, yeah. If you're like,
I think
imagine LTT being like, donate to the Patreon
Yeah.
and you'll get this.
I guess they do though as well in the float plane. They have float plane, which isn't that a similar thing?
Well,
I don't
that's
know, I guess-
Well, that's a YouTube competitor, isn't it? That's the
Oh, is it?
yeah. That's
Oh,
a
I
video
thought that was like
distribution
I
platform.
thought
I
that
guess-
was like a premium kind of.
got the
content
store
thing.
and they've got.
It also
Float
kind of
Plane.
changes once it becomes like a more of a larger company, like an enterprise. Like you're not really.
Yeah.
It's not just like for LTT. It's not just him. It's like it's a big company now. So
Yeah, it's like-
you're not just donating to. You wouldn't even be donating to him. It'd be like donating to a company, and that doesn't sit right. I guess.
Yeah, I guess you're right, and I imagine. Yeah, I guess that's.
I
a
think
good point.
every entity will outscale Patreon at a point in their life. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, you'll have these.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel right if you're
It's like
sort of passing through millions and.
it's like I guess it works for bands, and like for example, like Metallica obviously won't have a Patreon. They've got like a genuine platform like Met Club.
Fifth member, they call it now.
Oh, fifth Met. Oh, that's
Like you're the
that's,
fifth member of the band.
oh, that's
That's
quite
cool.
cool.
I don't
But
know.
yeah, I guess it doesn't work for like if you're an actual company.
Yeah.
Band it kind of works for the image. The image is different. But yeah, imagine being like, oh yeah, I'm a Patreon member for LTT.
Yeah, I guess you're right. That was maybe a
Yeah.
bit dumb with me, but certainly
like-
at our level, I mean, God, Patreon does so much for us, man. Like we couldn't. We really, the Patreon is a lifesaver.
Yeah.
But
It really is the.
Like imagine being a Patreon member for Carwow.
Yeah, good point.
To be
Good
fair,
point.
there's
Kinda
the
silly.
YouTube
Wow.
membership stuff, isn't there?
Yeah,
So I guess that's like what early access to vids and
I guess it's up to you. I think
emojis.
it's up to you.
There's
I
one I watch. So you watch Funhouse? Haven't you?
I'm
Seen-
not big on fun.
You know of them though.
Yeah, yeah.
So Funhouse, obviously owned by Rooster Teeth, they've gone defunct now, not a business anymore. For what I don't really know the ins and outs, but the Funhouse guys, I really like them. A few of them have started Astro Goblin, which is a tiny little channel, but just doing similar stuff. But they've got Patreon and they like have all the tiers and stuff. And there's one of them on one of the streams they were doing. They're like, oh yeah, you can like be a member of like Twitch. Or I don't know. I don't know how it works. It's like it's only 99 cents, and it's just because we just get emojis, and we didn't want to charge you anymore. And I was like, fair enough.
Yeah.
Money's money.
Do you know the reason that we started a Patreon? The reason that I started a Patreon back when it was so I was always really like, fuck all that shit.
Yeah.
I was very like shoot myself in the foot to remain as authentic as we possibly could. Like I remember when we got the first ice lolly, it wasn't even a sponsorship. It was just like our mate's sister worked for icelolly.com.
Oh,
the
yeah.
travel
Yeah,
agent, travel
yeah,
comparison site.
Yeah,
And it was like we can't.
we can't
You know,
pay you.
no, they couldn't pay us, but I think it was like 200 quid's worth of gift cards or product of something that you like.
Yeah,
And we chose two gimbals, two phone gimbals from DJI to make the content better, which was shit, by the way. And I've still got both of them, and we haven't used them for about 6-7 years because they're shit. But even that, it was like, I need to ask the community, what do you think about if we get a sponsor? What do you think about, you know, go on Twitter? Like, would you still trust us as like your people if we did this plug? And it was the same with Patreon. It was like, I'm sure we could make a few quid from Patreon in 2017, but like, you know, is that the right image for us? Are we just looking? And then I found out that Escape the Fates drummer had a Patreon. After we went to see him in Paris.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you know what? It can't hurt to set one up. Like, and now it's, you know, a main life source for the channel. But yeah, it's weird how that kind of changed. Like at first I was really nervous about us doing that first Manscaped read, which was our first proper contracted paid sponsor on the Weatherspoons Monopoly video, was it?
I don't know. I remember.
You were in the vid.
I was in the vid, yeah.
And
Great night out.
And yeah, I was really anxious. Like, how's our audience going to react to us having a sponsor? But now it's just so common, and it's like,
yeah, it is.
you know, skip it if you want. I always make sure to put the timestamps on there, so it's easy for you to skip if you don't want to be served an ad. We always try and make it entertaining, which we're about to do now. We're running out of time. We need to shoot that ad read.
We do.
But yeah, thanks for watching all the stuff, guys. We love you. And I'm
So,
definitely
pitiful.
not looking down on anyone.
Yeah. Or up again.
Or up.
Looking down.
We're all the same on this world.
Yeah.
I do, but not because of the channel.
Just because you're
In
taller than
general.
some young girls. I don't mean like that. I just mean girls are generally
Why
shorter than
girls?
guys.
Why
Yeah,
girls?
Why girls?
Short guys as well. You didn't
Yeah.
let me finish.
Shot thems.
Short anyone.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
I've really enjoyed this podcast.
Yeah.
And
I've been really warm.
the good thing is I've still got 5 things on my agenda, so we
Yeah.
can discuss them next time.
They can be on the rollover.
Tune in next time to hear potentially about scissor flopping at Glastonbury. I've just got an Apple Watch. Youngblood's low price festival. Is it all that it seems? And you'll be pleased to know I'm going in a swimming pool tomorrow, and it is heated.
Are you?
Yes, bitch, I am. Anyway, thanks for tuning in.
You just said bye to the screen.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for
everyone.
tuning in, guys.
Remember, what's the email, Ben?
Podcast@tpd.tv.
Maybe we should disable the comments so we get some emails.
Yeah. The only way you can reach us now. Business inquiry. No.
Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon. Cool. All right, let's wrap up.
All right.
We've wrapped up. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.